You're at that point. You're at that point where you're rock bottom, and you just go up from there. You can't go no lower, and that's where I was. I gotten to the point where it was that or nothing. You know, that was the next part. Facing eviction, I had nowhere to turn or nowhere to go, and so I sat down and wrote a letter.
I got a letter, a handwritten letter, and you don't get many handwritten letters these days in the days of email, and opened it up, and something about it struck me. It was just I've saved it. It's a little worse for the wear, but I don't know how he found my name, but he probably in the paper somewhere, and he wrote me this letter, and he just said, let me start by saying I have never wrote a letter like this before. And it just really, something about it, the tone of it, the honesty of it, just struck me.
About a year and a half ago, I had an accident while I was working. I was working on a power line, and when I was pulling the line down, it broke off a tree branch, and it come down and it just lightly hit this side right here and just cut a small little scratch into it. And I didn't think no more of it. It was just a simple cut. And about a week to 2 weeks later, it just looked like it got infected. And it just started growing and growing, and then before long, it looked just like almost like a mushroom had come out there. And that was the worst part of it, where it got to where a bandage wouldn't cover it. And I went to a dermatologist to find exactly what was the problem and everything, and then it turned out to be cancer. You know, I have to deal with the public, work with the public. You meet them and everything like that, and the people I worked for just didn't want me dealing with that part of it. So they more or less didn't fire me. They just laid me off, and I didn't know where I was going to go after that. I'd closed myself into my apartment, and I just sat right there in the dark, just trying to think what I was going to do next. I worked for them 11.5 years, yeah.
Part of what he wanted to do was, for the first time in his life, ask for help. So he really needed to reach out for help. And just a couple of days before I met him, I had been at the Sulzbacher Center, and I thought, well, he's in danger of being evicted. And I said, maybe he'll qualify. So I called the Sulzbacher Center, and sure enough, they offered to help him. And so he went down there, and that was the first step toward his recovery.
John Bowles, he called me up and asked me some questions and everything. It was simple questions. I'd never been arrested. I got a clean record. I didn't drink. I don't do drugs. Said report in here the next following Monday. I didn't stay here long before I went over to St. Vincent's and started my treatment. I stayed over there at the River House, which is a charity house for cancer patients over there. Since the last part of March until now, I've been here for 2.5 months.
What would have happened, you feel like, if the Sulzbacher Center wasn't here?
I can't answer that.
It's tough to think about, huh?
I'm waiting for July 1st to come up, and that's when I'll meet my plastic surgeon and my doctor, my oncologist, and they'll go over when to schedule the operation. And that's what I'm waiting for next, which is 2 weeks from now. Two weeks ago, they cut the flap that was formed here because it was still hooked on, and it's healing up now, and it's going real well. I've got my care that I didn't never expect, and everybody's been great. The Sulzbacher Center, that they were there every day I needed them, the people there, the shelter, and the care. I was at the bottom, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And every day was a better day after that.